this is my stack of papers as we're starting off, and I'm going to flip them over to the back. Now I'm not sticking them into the cover just yet. So what I'm going to do is this back one, this flaps we're not doing anything with. This next one, I'm going to put glue along this flap here. But don't want too much on if it ever comes out. There we go. Because I don't want it oozing out everywhere. So that then is going to sit on top of that one. And I can also make sure that it's all lined up nicely down these edges and across this top. Now I'm not expecting perfection. I'm probably going to end up running off a little bit at some point, but we're making a start. So this next one, we're just going to glue in place. And it's very easy, let me tell you, to start. They end up starting to stagger because you feel that you've got to see a little bit of the previous one in view with your eye. And so it's easy to start. You start seeing a little tiny, it's minuscule, the little tiny stagger. So just be aware that you don't want a stagger going on. Now those two are the ones that I'm going to put in there. Excuse me, but I can't put them in until I've done this. So I'm going to stick this one in place first. And that's going to sit on top. So yeah, as you're gluing them on, just really mind that it's so easy to do. Ask me how I know. Okay, so that's going to open up like that. That's going to sit there like that. This one's going to go in there. Still too wide. Let me just take a fraction off. And no, I'm all right with the height of that actually. So that's going to flip out there nicely. Right, so what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to use my micropore, and I get so many questions about this. It's in between a washi tape and a masking tape. It's a soft kind of paper with sticky on the back. Okay, so I'm going to put some micropore on that edge. So that's going to sit there. That's better. That's going to stick down there. And the reason why I like micropore is because by the time I've burnished the micropore on the that's showing on the edge of the page here, by the time I burnish this, it kind of disappears a little bit. I mean, obviously it's still there, but it's not as visible as if I used a washi tape. And then if I open it up, I then stick it on the other side. And that micropore, that's the other thing I get, is how do you spell it? Micro and then pour. P-O-R-E. And that now acts as my hinge. And of course, if I wanted to, I'd need to ink all the edges of these up as well. Right, so that's going to need an even narrower piece of micropore on this side. So I am going to stick this on only have a little bit overhanging the edge. Little teeny tiny bit. And then that will and then sit on there. The other question I got asked, I get asked a lot as well, is on a couple of things again that I've used. I've got asked the question, can I use Mod Podge? It's up to you. If you want to use it, then you can do. I personally don't like Mod Podge very much. I need to trim that down a bit because it leaves a sticky. Leaves a sticky surface. So I was using a spray the other day to protect some of the papers, and in fact I'm going to do it in this tutorial as well, not this particular video, because I want to protect the red that I used on the front cover, because it used a lot of ink on it, with it being such a dense colour. So I want to spray it and protect it. And again, I got asked about, can I use Mod Podge instead? I wouldn't use it because, as I say, it can leave a sticky residue. And the amount of times I've seen people gone, oh, I went and Mod Podged it and now it's all sticky, what can you suggest? So, no. Don't use it as a protective layering. Oops, wrecking the joint. There we go. So now I've got this as a double flip, and then I can decorate these up by having some extra papers on, and I've got that little bit of a border going on down there, and then that sits on top. I'm going to do a few more and then I'll come back in a second and show you where I'm up to. Okay, I've got to another interesting bit, but I'm going to show you where I'm up to at the moment. So let's just flick through these pages, of which you will have already seen them. Right, so that now flips like that and like that. In fact, let's have it that way around. Make sure I'm in shot. And then this one I've added as a flip page. So again, I've used the micropore at the top, flipped this over, creased it down, and then added micropore on the back so that that's now hinged. And then this was the long one, so that will now act as a divider for that particular section. And then I'm up to adding in here, I'm up to adding the vellum piece. Now I've cut this part out as well of the buttons because I'm actually going to attach it to the bottom of the page to just give it that little bit of extra weight. Now what I need to do is I need to fold this because I want to be able to lift it up. And if I just stick it down and then go to use it and lift it up, it's going to peel off. And so I want to put a bend in it, so I'm going to just crease it by folding it over and folding it over to the front of the vellum where the pattern is. I didn't do a grand crease there. And then I'm going to use my tape runner on it. And I'm going to do half that way. And half that way. Because the tape runner tends not to show the glue quite so much. And as I say, if I used, say, my Tombow glue or a PVA glue, it can end up making the vellum all a little bit crinkled. Now what I could do is I could add these buttons at the top and do it from page end to page end, so that could go across there, and then this bit will go across the bottom. Ooh, or do I just want it at the top? Maybe. Yeah, maybe having that at the bottom is maybe going to be too much. Okay, decision made. So I'm going to snip that end off. Snip that end off. And then I want to ink the edges up. Now I'm using, as I say, I'm using the walnut stain to just keep it in with the really deep vintage feel about these papers. And I have to say, Tina, you've created too many beautiful papers. I've had a real bad day trying to choose which ones to use and which ones to eliminate for the time being. Too much choice. And I'm a typical Libran. Can't make up my mind sometimes. Okay, now I'm putting glue on the back of this because I'm attaching it on top of the vellum, so you won't actually see it. And then that then can sit across there, and it is well within the crease of this next page. And that just adds a little bit of a decorative element there. I could maybe, if I wanted to, add a little tab. Maybe fold that back. Oh, I like that. Right, we're doing that. So, to there. Ooh, that was as straight as a donkey's hind leg. That's better. Ink it up a little. And for now, I'm going to just glue it in place, and I'm not going to do a hard crease. Ooh, trying to escape. I'm not going to do a hard crease here because I want it slightly opened. And then when the glue is set, I will actually add a staple, or I might even add a button. We'll see. Those are the sorts of things that we do towards the end, is add all those little, all the frilly bits. Okay, so that's going to sit over there. Yeah, I like that. So I've now got that little tab on the side there to be able to lift that up. And I think that I will add a little button on there further on down the line. Okay, I'm back to gluing my pages back in, and it's boring for a bit, so I'll come back and show you when there's something slightly more interesting again. So I thought I'd better record this one. This was the one where it was the folded page. So I've got the image on the front and the back, and then I've stitched around it with my zigzag stitch around the three sides, and then put a little thumb hole in the top. Now this is another one of those pages that you can't add until you've stuck the next page down. All right, so my next page is in place, and now I can put this where I want it to go, because I'm going to be attaching it on top of the fold of where I've glued this page in place. So again, I'm going to use the micropore, and it's going to go over the edge of the stitching. So let me do that, and then I can do that, and then I can chop off the excess. Try and leave the strings, Carol, try not to cut those off. Okay. Drop my micropore on the floor. And that's going to sit in there. Okay, now this one I want to flip out this way. And then, as I say, there's a nice area there to maybe add a photograph on the back, or to do a bit of brightening on a separate piece of paper and then glue it on top. Again, mind that I don't cut the strings. Okay. I'm going to leave the strings for now. I might even add a little charm, maybe on the longer one. So that's that one now in place. And as you can see, look, it's starting to build up quite a deep spine, which is why we haven't finished off the cover, because we need to see how deep this spine's going to be. Now, I don't think that there's any more special ones in here that I need to show you that we haven't already kind of covered. So I'm going to leave it here for this video, and I'll see you in the next video, and I'll show you how to attach all of this into your cover and how it all starts to go together. Okay, see you in the next video. Thanks for persevering with me through this one. See you soon. Bye for now.